Molly Rutter. Who is she? What is she? What has she done? Why is she problematic? What is she continuing to do after being a problematic YouTuber and TikToker? Let's dive into that, shall we? Molly Rutter. I told you how we were going to. I promise we're making it happen. I'm in my Sunday's best. We're going to follow through with this. I promise you. I promised you content. I'm fulfilling said obligation for content. So here we go. Molly Rutter. Buckle up. Get ready for the ride. It's a short ride because she's only been doing social media, at least sensationalized social media, for 3 years, 2 years, 2 years. So it's a short ride, but we became problematic very quickly. So let's go. So Miss Molly Rutter is a 30-something-year-old New Yorker that was studying abroad or traveling abroad, teaching abroad in Turkey in 2022 is where we got our start on TikTok. That's where she began posting content regularly. This was a fun side project, creating TikToks, showcasing interior design inspiration, travel with her friends and her Turkish boyfriend or Turkish lover. And what else did she showcase? I guess just lifestyle content. From then, we get into the nitty gritty. No, it was probably about a year worth of her travel content, going out with her boyfriend, doing the fun little cutesy stuff, and just creating aesthetically pleasing content. Content that I think that Amberlynn would watch. Or Chantal. Chantal would probably watch it because it's foreign. But she traveled to other places in Turkey and she was teaching. She was an English teacher in Turkey, teaching, I think, elementary age students. So she was just living the life, traveling, having fun, being, goofy goober, enjoying her time with her Turkish boyfriend.
Hi, I'm Molly, and in August of 2020, I packed up my entire life, which wasn't very much, plus my 2 adorable dogs, and moved to the city of my dreams to start a new job. And the fact that I did this during the middle of a worldwide pandemic might have been a little crazy, but it also might have been the best decision I have ever made in my life. So follow along to see how I made some Molly home magic.
That's things got real fast when the breakup happened, and we got a very emotionally oversharey Molly brought to the forefront. And when I mean oversharey, I mean this woman shared everything that you would share with a therapist, as far as setting out a questionnaire for her ex-boyfriend to know why, and other things that she wanted to know post breakup. Yeah.
Well, I have news. Me and my Turkish boyfriend broke up. We dated for about a year and a half, and the breakup happened 3 months ago. It was a breakup completely initiated by him. From my perspective, there were quite literally 0 signs that this breakup was about to happen. So I spent a lot of the initial time after the breakup in shock. Thankfully, shortly after the breakup happened, I was able to have a conversation with him where I had a list of all these questions, like, was our love real? Why are we breaking up? I just asked him the questions and he responded. I did not offer my opinion in response to any of these questions. I did not give a response even. I would just ask my question, why are we breaking up? Listen to what he said, say okay, and move on to the next question. Obviously, I have a bazillion thoughts and opinions in response to everything he said in this conversation. I didn't see a point in offering my unsolicited opinion on the matter. I would never want someone to date me who doesn't want to. And so in this conversation, I gained a lot of clarity as to why we were breaking up, and I ultimately came to understand it. I could see in the answers that he gave me that it was better for him to not be in this relationship. I might disagree with a lot of the things, but you also can't disagree with someone's own life experience and their own opinion. So I was able to walk away from the relationship with a lot of acceptance for why we were breaking up, which I'm incredibly grateful for, because we all know breakups don't often end like that. I've had many breakups where it ends and you never get closure, you never get an understanding, and you just end it feeling confused and left in the dust, and you're left to pick up the pieces on your own. And so I'm so grateful that I was able to leave this relationship with a super strong understanding of why it was ending. That is a gift. Anyone out there, if you get the chance to have a conversation with someone, especially when they're the one breaking up with you, I highly recommend doing what I did. I would recommend it to anyone. I had a list of questions on my phone. I asked them. I said nothing in response and went to the next question. And then all of my thoughts that are going on in my head, because there was a bunch, I saved that for my conversations with my friends, right? I did not put that on him. So, all that being said, it's not like getting closure and understanding makes the breakup process easier. He lived with me. We spent every day together. He was a huge part of my life. I was definitely in love with him. At this point in my life, I don't date anyone unless I consider them a possibility to be my partner, to build a family with. And so I certainly thought that of him. And so that was the hardest part of the whole grieving process for me. That's why I'm getting emotional even when I'm talking about it now. So I've gone through all of it, anger, sadness, confusion, and it's up and down. But I look back on my relationship and I'm really proud of myself because I never crossed my own boundaries. I was always true to myself, and I was very happy in this relationship. And so I'm super grateful for that. I'm super grateful that I don't look back on this relationship now and think, oh my God, I put up with some BS. I don't think that. I'm very proud and very happy that this relationship existed in my life. So that being said, this is a big shift in my TikTok world. I posted a lot of content with me and him. And oftentimes my content I would post with him would get the highest views. I mean, him and I would have a lot of fun together. So I would create these videos and have a blast, right? These little snippets of our life. And so I've had to pivot now and change what I'm posting. But of course, my personality will still be in everything. But I mean, anyone who's been following me, I'm sure you've noticed that I haven't been posting him anymore, right? So that being said, I'm excited for this new season of my life. I'm excited to continue to use this platform to share my experience living and teaching abroad, because it's super fulfilling for me. And also, creating videos on TikTok is a really nice creative outlet for myself. Yeah, so that's my news.
So she never really, I guess, went into depth on the actual questions, but the fact that she made a list of questions for that boyfriend post breakup was hilarious because I'd never seen that before. Maybe that's just because I've never really had healthy ex relationships. It's always everybody's ended on bad terms and you just no longer talk to them. And even in the ones that you didn't add on or didn't end on the best terms, I don't know. They're an ex for a reason, right? Anyhow, the post breakup, we got a start to what began the slippery slope of dating content. She would share and document her date, that she would meet up with people from dating apps and essentially criticize them while on dates with them and then also criticize them afterwards. And Molly noticed very quickly that she got more attention and more views off of the more dramatic, more negative dating experiences versus her positive ones. So that's where we kind of got the turn in content being highly negative against any date that she had there and after. A lot of people speculated that she was recording these moments in front of her dates, which is very cruel to be criticized right in front of your date for people on the internet to also criticize you. But that just goes to show what we're kind of dealing with mental health and her decision making skills. And we're going to get more into that right now. So, Molly's decision making skills. Molly documented a date in which she went out with an early 20s year old man. She was in her 30s. He's a 20 something, very young. I think he was like 22. And she, off the bat, criticized that he wasn't the type she'd normally go for. He's very young. He seems very immature, yada, yada, blah, blah. And then goes to tell us how she asked him to do her taxes because, as a social media personality, being essentially an independent contract, it's a little difficult. It's a little everywhere, and her taxes were a mess. Or her finances. Her financial organization was a mess. And she asked for his help. Now, this didn't go over well with her audience because of all of the negativity that she spewed about said person. To then go and elicit their help in organizing and filing your taxes, your income tax. Firstly, a stranger that you weren't so keen on, you're going to give access to your personal finances. Something seemed off about that. A lot of people felt the same way, that it seemed a little off, and a lot of people felt like she was taking advantage of this young kid. Molly began to share a lot of personal and mental health issues that she was having, like depression or working through things. I know she lost her mother a few years ago, or a year ago. Might have been a year ago. And she's still dealing with that grief, which I understand. I lost my mother almost 3 years ago now, and I still grieve. So I understand that grief, and I understand the depression, but I don't understand oversharing to the internet and using the internet as your therapy. See a therapist. Molly does not like this suggestion, though. And from time to time, she'll get sick enough of people suggesting therapy and then try to make a statement using a comment made about asking her to seek a therapist. And usually it's very backhanded and very overcritical, very demeaning. She likes to be right and doesn't do well with criticism. I mean, that she just doesn't. Then we went viral for all the wrong reasons concerning her next atrocity that came from dating experiences that she shared. And that was close to Halloween of 2024. Molly decided to go on a date with somebody from one of the dating apps that she was on. And that date, she criticized from the get-go while she was getting ready. She's like, it's not the typical guy I go out for. He's very gothic, yada, yada, blah, blah. Not the kind I go for. But I thought I would try it. Obviously, she's willing to try anything at this point for dates. And they went to a haunted house, or we're going to a haunted house. Something entertaining. I've been to many haunted houses. They are fun. Apparently, he had reserved the haunted house before they were about to open to give her a walkthrough of the place, which was really neat. And then the end of the TikTok video, though, left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth because Molly kind of hints around being in front of a building, her eye blackened, her lip bloodied, hand in front of her face, looking like she's distraught. And we see police sirens, the lights flashing on her eye, or on her face. And she makes it seem like something terrible happened while on the date. And she even says, I think this was the worst date of my life. And that's where it ended.
Doing my makeup for a date. Can you believe? I know most of my followers, I don't need to remind you of this. Look, I'm completely aware that this is my job now. I'm completely aware also that my dating content is the stuff that goes most viral. But the thing is, I'm dating for genuine reasons, okay? I don't go on dates constantly. So yeah, basically, I go on dates when I go on dates, all right?
Less concealer?
Are you gonna try to tell me that?
I feel so confident.
I feel like Beyonce, standing in front of my air conditioner waiting for my Uber. Wait, it's only... It was the scariest day of my life.
And for 2 days after that video, Molly was kind of radio silent. And people thought the worst. They thought maybe something happened on the date where she was like harmed in some way, abused. Not good for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. I'm going to let you in on that. Not a good look. And she just kept in the comments when people would ask, like about her face, she's like, it's a busted lip and a black eye to be specific. And then kind of left it at that. Was not giving any information further than that. 2 days later, we get the rest of the video edited, and here she was doing promotion for a haunted house that was supposed to be zombie makeup. I don't know in what world a black eye and a busted lip correlates to zombie, but in Molly's it did, and she didn't see anything wrong with it. After the backlash surrounding that video, rightly so, and her lackluster excuses onto why she did it how she did, or how she alluded to it as she did, Molly deleted the video, both videos to be more specific, and she also went on to film a few apologies, though could they really be classified as that? Because really she just went about saying, you guys interpreted it the wrong way. I'm sorry that you interpreted it the wrong way.
Hi everyone, I want to get on here and address the recent videos I posted and have since taken down. For some context, I went to a haunted house to film content and dress up with a makeup look that was spooky, Halloween inspired to match the theme of this zombie date experience. That said, I've read your comments and I understand that there were people who felt that my makeup look, which included a black eye and a busted lip, was highlighting domestic violence and physical abuse, which was absolutely not my intention at all. I always act under the premise that even people with good intentions, their actions and their behaviors and their words can have unintended negative consequences on others. I do not feel it would be right to profit off of content that highlights something as serious as domestic violence and physical abuse. And so that is why I have removed those videos. For those who don't know me, or maybe you haven't been following me very long, I absolutely love Halloween. It's a big part of who I am. Everything from dressing up to going to haunted houses. I'm just a huge lover of anything Halloween and fall, which is why I even went forward to make this content in the first place. I'm always open to learning and growing, and so I do appreciate so many of you bringing this to my attention, and I sincerely hope to continue to create on this platform in a way that is positive and respectful of everyone.
Yeah. So after that, she was really in nobody's favor, and a lot of people covered her after that because that was just horrific to make people assume that the worst had happened and not even give any context till days later. Everybody felt the worst had happened. And believe me, the worst would be that you would be physically abused while on a date with somebody. So after that offense, though, she hasn't really walked it back from that. We now have her making kind of rage baity, super left-leaning content against Trump and against a lot of the things Trump stands for, which is whatever. I'm not a Trump supporter either, but I don't make it my personality. I don't know. She made it a point to do live streams where she would essentially fight with people on these panels over political nonsense. And it's just for the viewership, for the confrontation, and for, you know, the backlash that comes there and after from it being clipped. It's still viewership. It's still gaining her an audience, even if they're hate watching. So she kind of thrives on that. But Molly had started to make the move towards YouTube, I would say around the same time. She started posting podcast content on YouTube, and she's still kind of figuring that out. She's also doing vlogs now, but also still figuring that out because she's posting them in the format that you would post on TikTok and not YouTube's format for vlogs. I know a lot of people want to do the 9:16, like the short form content, but you can't, that really doesn't equate the same for vlogs, especially if they're over the, 60 seconds that a short allows. So it's no longer going to be put into that algorithm for shorts. If it's not a short, it's going to be put into the regular long form content algorithm, and she's not formatted the video for that. So it's a mess over there, and it shows with her subscriber count. Her subscriber count or followers on TikTok are in the hundreds of thousands, whereas her YouTube channel has barely over 1,000 subscribers, and her viewership is even lower than that. So she's really fighting an uphill battle to make something on YouTube more sustainable. And with having said that, when TikTok was being banned, Sunday, I believe it was Sunday evening, it might have even been Saturday evening, Molly had a full crash out on TikTok over the impending ban and the fact that it had been 2 days after she was supposed to be paid by TikTok, and she'd still not received payment. So
I normally get paid on the 15th, and it is now the 16th. We're only a few hours away from it being the 17th, and I've not received it. And normally I'll get a notification sometime earlier in the morning on the 15th from TikTok that they've sent the pay, and then I get it at PayPal sometime that day. It varies, like sometimes I get it quickly, sometimes it's not till late in the evening that day, but I've always, ever since I've been monetizing on TikTok, I've always gotten my pay on the 15th of the month. And it is now almost the 17th and I still haven't received it. And I called PayPal and I asked them, because thinking maybe there was a hiccup over there, and they said they have no record of receiving it. And so, you know, of course there's a chance that all of this is a glitch, but I can't help but think that something's awfully coincidental that this is happening days before the potential TikTok ban. And so in my head, I'm just thinking the worst, that the ban's gonna happen and then they're not gonna pay me my last paycheck, and like, I'm freaking out. I know for certain there are going to be haters in this comment section who are like, ooh, boo-hoo, get a real job, you know? And to that, I just say, I really hope you find an area of your life to exist where you have empathy for others, that you have empathy for people who are doing something, even if it's unconventional, if it's something that makes them happy, brings them a quality of life that they didn't have before. I've been posting way less than normal ever since Trump got elected because I'm just freaking out all the time. I'm like really trying to cope with my own anxiety. I'm also really trying to cope with the reality that I don't have any control over what happens with this app. And so, yeah, I've not been my best self. And this time of year is always hard for me because around my birthday, I always fucking miss my dead mother and wish she was here. So yeah, I'm kind of crashing out right now. And I was just on the phone with my therapist, and he told me that it's okay if I ask for help. So, here's me shamelessly asking for help. I've done this before online, and I'm doing it again. Even if you can't help me monetarily, if you want to share this video, because I'm curious if other creators have also not received this week's pay. I just love this community that I've built, and so even just like a kind message would mean the world to me. And my heart goes out to anyone else who's really struggling right now. I I really admire people who are able to put on a brave face during times like this, but I'm just not one of those people. I'm too sensitive of a patootie. So anyways, I love you guys.
So, hey guys, this is the morning after I filmed all of that. I forgot to put in an ending to my train of thought there. I believe my husband had came in while I was recording and I kind of had stopped and was planning on going back and never did. You know, life got in the way. But anyhow, the TikTok ban and Molly Rutter, she had the really big crash out or whatever, obviously because not knowing where this stood for continuation of her career that she has made as a TikTok personality, a TikTok influencer. Um, and so obviously she was taken aback to the sudden ban, even though they were given a 2-week warning that this could possibly happen. She did not plan accordingly. And so this crash out was because of no plans in place. I mean, she sort of planned for this by making the jump to YouTube, but not to the extent and time that she's put into other things like her TikTok. So the crash out happened. She was bawling, told us that she discussed with her therapist if it was okay to ask the internet for help while she was going through this and was unsure of where her job would be after the dust settled with the TikTok ban. And so she pretty much asked her audience for any help that they could give with financially to help her during this time so she could try to find something else to do to bring in money. I mean, Molly is fortunate enough to where she has that teaching degree that she can fall back on and a history of having taught abroad as well as in New York. So, why she wouldn't go back to just teaching is beyond me in some capacity. I mean, there's online tutoring now that pays very well. That could be an avenue for her. I just don't think she wants to go back to the teaching per se and enjoys doing the social media part a lot more because it's less labor intensive, I guess. But we're going to see where this leads with her channel. I know on YouTube last night while I was posting my Foodie Beauty video, my reaction to Foodie Beauty, Molly was live and she went live for multiple hours talking just randomness. I stepped in for a little bit to see what was being said, but it was nothing of interest, so I just left it at that. I probably will go back and skim over it later. Not going to happen anytime this week because I just don't have the time, but maybe we can watch it during the live stream Wednesday to make time. I don't know. Oh, and P.S. before I end things, if you are coming across this video and you're thinking to yourself, oh, Molly doesn't seem that bad, all things considered, does she really belong on this channel? I'll leave you with this. Molly, her first conflict when people started seeing her dating content, and I believe it was not long after dating the 22, 23-year-old that she wanted to do her taxes or trying to go on a date with the 22-year-old to do her taxes. The controversy surrounding her dating profiles became evident. I believe it was passed around on her Reddit snark page, but she was using older photos of herself when she was much thinner to post on her dating profiles. And it would lead people to be a little upset that who they were meeting in person was not the person that they saw in the photographs, where it was the same person, it's just she was a different size, she was a little heavier. It begs to pull in question that why is she using outdated photographs to pull in dates? And since being called out for that, though, she has started posting more recent photographs of herself to her dating profiles. So At the moment, I believe she only has one older photo in her lineup, as far as Reddit has said, because they keep tabs on her, trust, and she has since corrected herself. So I believe she's a pretty good contender between our girls. Problematic online, center of attention, narcissistic, all those good things that make up a good content creator to cover. So we're adding her to the batch. We'll see what she has to do on the YouTube platform. She's been live streaming, so we could be up for some more shenanigans. Anyhow, that's all I had to share. That's it on Molly Rutter. Any questions, comments, leave them down below. I'll see you guys on Wednesday's live stream. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you next time. Bye.
Can't fully articulate it, but it just feels the same, and it feels like it's permanently not the same. I'm not looking into teaching, no. Like, that's just not, there wasn't enough financial potential for me. That was the main reason why I left teaching. So I really don't see myself going back to teaching. It's not like a definite no, but that's definitely not like a priority for me, you know? Did I put any men in their place lately? It's a good question. I've been pretty chill lately. That's good. I've been pretty chill.